Christmas with the Pack by Orphan Account. This is 1,322 words. Derek really hates shopping, but what he hates more is glittery sweaters that are 2 sizes too small. Stiles finds this hilarious. Lydia has a color scheme for the tree, and Scott eats all the Christmas cookies. AKA the one where it's wintery and cute, and Derek gets hit in the face with a snowball. Blame Scott. Lydia's throwing a Christmas get-together and everything has to be perfect, including her friends, which means a packed shopping trip is in order, which Derek tries and fails to get out of. Derek is forced to carry the shopping bag because what's the point of having an alpha if they are all going to do all day is stand in the corner and moodily glare at the sales assistants. Lydia leads them straight past the food court and up the escalators towards the clothing section, and Scott stares longingly as they travel further away from the displays of cookies and Christmas-flavored sugary goodness. Half an hour into the trip, Derek asks to go home because there's clearly much more important alpha things to be getting on with, such as stalking him around his loft and practicing scowling in the mirror. Isaac hasn't told anybody, but he's convinced the scowl comes with practice, and he swears to himself he's so close to getting it right, but Allison just laughs and tells him he looks more like an injured puppy whenever he tries it out. Lydia's too busy pretending not to hear him, gliding past and sweeping Sal's cup of coffee out of his hands and pushing it into Derek's instead. Who let Styles have caffeinated coffee? Seriously, guys? Stiles thinks shopping with Derek is the best thing to have happen since he got to spend a whole day calling him Miguel before they revealed the truth to Danny. He practically runs around the shop the minute they enter looking for the perfect outfit and dragging Danny with him into the store, zigzagging from one side to the other whenever something catches his eye, making displays wobble dangerously as he passes. Danny follows behind, apologizing to customers and sales assistants. That falls into Styles' path, grateful to finally be included in the pack. Allison and Lydia are picking out the perfect Christmas sweaters for everyone to wear to the get-together, which Derek thinks are absolutely beyond vile and honestly actually make his head hurt. Derek, that's the whole point of an ugly sweater party. They're so ugly, they're good. Not like Styles. Don't be such a Scrooge. Allison is measuring a sweater against Scott's shoulders when she receives a text of Isaac asking when they'll all be back home, followed by a series of distressed and upset emojis. She texts back and tells him that it's his fault for not coming, but promises to be home soon and rescue him from Erica. Derek finds a comfy piece of wall to lean against and begrudgingly has item after item of clothing pushed into his arms, because according to Lydia, he may as well keep himself useful. After a few minutes, Styles comes bounding back, hiding something behind his back, trying and failing massively to keep the smile off his face. He holds up the most obnoxious sweater Derek has ever seen in his life. It's rainbow and sequined all over and has a massive teddy bear in the middle of it with "Hug Me" scrawled across the top. Derek shoots an infamous glare at Styles, and Styles grins back and holds it up in front of him, pretending to decide whether it would fit. Styles, if you don't get that thing away from me, I will personally rip out your throat with my teeth. Scott and Danny try to hide their laughter behind their hands while Lydia clears her throat, and Derek guiltily turns to look at her. Can we not have one single day without any threats of violence? 1 hour later, Derek is being harassed by a small yappy dog in a woman's handbag that won't start barking at him, and he swears Styles is only encouraging it. 2 hours later, and Derek is seriously considering shooting himself with a wolfsbane bullet when finally Lydia announces they're finished. Stiles has shoved the sweater onto Derek before he even has a chance to say no. It's about 2 sizes too small, and the arms are at least 5 inches short. Erica creases over in hysterics, and Peter snaps a photo to use as blackmail. Somehow he's gotten away with a V-neck jumper that has a single pine tree on it and about a teaspoon of festive glitter. Derek wonders how long Peter had to battle with Lydia over his choice of a jumper because compared to everyone else's, it's relatively normal. Stiles doesn't understand why he's outside in the freezing cold when there's cranberry flavored jello shots. It's totally unfair for non supernatural teenagers who can actually feel it when it gets below zero and names another pointed glare at Derek's back. Scott doesn't understand why he's outside when there's wolf-shaped gingerbread cookies and cinnamon cookies and basically whole bunch of sugar inside. Derek says that chopping down a tree is building character building. Stiles. I saw that eye roll. And Allison is just happy that she gets to hold the axe. Isaac doesn't care much for trees, but he figures if his alpha says it's character building, then it must be. And he gets to wear 50% more knitwear than usual, so he's quite happy about the situation. Lydia's only there to make sure they pick a tree that meets her standards. After about 10 minutes, the task is done. It took Stiles approximately 9 minutes to interest and throw a half-hearted snowball in Scott's direction. Soon they are tightly packed. There are tightly back. After about 10 minutes, the task is done. It took Stiles approximately 9 minutes to lose interest and throw a half-hearted snowball in Scott's direction. Soon there are tightly packed snowballs flying between the group, whilst Lydia threatens to withhold the hot chocolate supply if anyone dares to get snow in her hair. Scott aims a particularly large snowball right at Stiles, who sidesteps behind Danny, and there's a soft crunch as it hits Derek on the side of the head. The group freezes as Derek smirks and drops the tree to the ground, and Scott glances at Stiles. Dude, run. Eventually, the tree gets dragged inside, and whilst Peter stands it up, everyone else will do an awful job. Lydia disperses hot chocolate around the group. She adds extra cream and sprinkles to Derek, who still looks grumpy and walks away mumbling things about an ambush and snowballs and 7 against 1. Secretly, he's pleased, and nobody says anything when he comes back for thirds. Stiles holds back his comment about the sprinkles matching Derek's jumper and makes a note to tell Scott about it later. Lydia has a well-planned color scheme for the tree and the rest of the loft, of course, and refuses to allow anybody within half a meter of the front of the tree other than Danny, who apparently meets her decorating standards. Stiles is in absolutely no way allowed to help decorate the front. Lydia hovers nervously around the tree, Lydia sweetly tells him that the back is just as important as the front and that if he wants his Batman ornaments on it, then that's where they can go. Isaac hovers nervously around the tree, having never had a proper Christmas since him and his brother were little, not quite sure what to do with himself. Lydia asks if he would like to put the star on top. By the end of the night, Secret Santa presents have been given. Stiles gives Derek a sparkly collar and a lead before quickly moving to the other side of the room, and everyone has eaten too much. Even the wolves are full. Danny and Lydia appear with armsfuls of blanket, and everyone settles down to watch snow dogs, which Stiles and Scott think is hilariously appropriate. One of the dogs looks like Derek. Everyone gathers on the sofa and the floor with more hot chocolate. Lydia suspects Erica's spiked this batch, except for Peter, who sits and drinks expensive whiskey in the armchair and steals a blanket for himself. Derek thinks that maybe Christmas with the pack is a lot better than shopping with them. I am so tired right now. Night before last night, I woke up at like 2 a.m. and I was up until about 4 p.m. yesterday. So, like, 20 for what's okay, 24 plus 12 plus 2, 36. I got like a 20-minute nap in, and then I was up until like 3 a.m. today and it fell asleep and woke up at like 7:30 and it's now 9. I've never done I've only watched like 4 episodes of Teen Wolf, so forgive me if the voices are just so off. I only know who Stiles and Derek and main character kid whose name I forgot. I thought it was about Stiles. Everything I've ever seen is just about Stiles of Teen Wolf, and he's not the main character, so I stopped watching it. But I'll start watching it again. I don't know. I know nothing about it. So yeah. I just know that Steric is like the most popular ship. Um and this isn't actually like a Steric. I just know about Steric. Um yeah, when you see search up Teen Wolf, you get the Michael J. Fox one and I think that's hilarious. Um Scott, that's who I was thinking about. I know who no one else is. Scott, I know Stiles because that's Dylan O'Brien, and then I know Scott, and then I know Derek. Um, don't know anyone else though, really. Oh, I should go I should watch it. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution is start watching new shows because all I watch is like Criminal Minds and Supernatural and My Hero Academia. And Bob's Burgers. I've really been into Bob's Burgers lately. Yeah. Okay. See you in the next one.